What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I am your host and captain and dad, Garrett Morling, and here in the virtual studio with me is the nerd dad himself, Zedge Keenan.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody out there? I'm just going to lower my monitor. JJ, how are you?
I'm doing great. What's up, everybody?
Also joining us here in the virtual studio with me is the one, the only, JJ Purdom.
I thank you so much. And I don't know if I've shared it on the podcast as of late, but I'm real happy. It's been a crazy week, super busy. Recently, I became the manager of the company that Garrett and I work for, which essentially makes me Garrett's boss. That's right.
No.
Just recently, I became Garrett's boss, and it's been amazing because I make him do like menial tasks, like clean the toilet. And he's like, that's like a communal toilet. It has nothing to do with me. And I'm like, just clean the toilet anyway because somebody went in there and blew it up and then left something in there for you.
You sound like a really good manager.
You're
I'm
technically the route manager. I am the office manager, so I am my own boss.
What?
Thank you very much.
Who gets paid more? Me or Andy?
I think we actually get paid the same, but we get paid the same right now. But I'm actually looking forward to another couple of dollar raise in the very near future, Garrett. So,
yeah. Well, we get paid the same
right
now.
I will technically be your overlord.
We get paid the same right now, but I work a heck of a lot less. That's for sure.
That is totally true. And that's been true for years, but it is totally true right now. For some reason, I work far too much right now. But you have a lot of that brain stuff that I don't have. Not that I don't have brains, because I have brains, obviously, because I'm on a world-renowned podcast weekly. But you do a lot of that smart stuff in the office that I cannot do. But recently somebody said, like, yeah, but for all that money you're making, you got to work with your back. And I honestly was able to answer, for the first time in my life, I'm not being paid for what my back can do. I'm now being paid for my knowledge, for what my knowledge can bring to the table, and like my expertise and how I carry myself. That's how I make my money every day. It's with this sweet brain. All of a sudden, the sweet brain is what's making me my cash. For the first time in my life. I don't expect this to last long because I did smoke a whole lot of pot in high school, so I assume that pretty soon it's going to start Swiss cheesing up pretty bad. Yeah.
That's a myth.
Yeah. Thank God.
Time will tell. Time will tell.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Cool. How are you doing, Zedge? It's just Monday, but I feel like beforehand we were all saying how it's been a long week already.
Oh, man. I'm getting back into working out. That was an experience. I'm back now. Just got done working out. Now I'm doing this. So if I sound a little sluggish, you can blame it on the sweats that I just had and the lack of food, because I'm hungry. It's actually a hungry boy. No, it's been a pretty good weekend. Leading up into today, I know I mentioned it last week on the podcast, but I got like a GameFly trial for like $1.
Nice.
And
that's always the best.
I rented Link's Awakening, and now I own Link's Awakening. That game is...
Did you buy it straight from him?
It was too good. Yeah, I couldn't pass it up. It was like $40, which is a lot of money still, but for a Nintendo game that never goes on sale.
Exactly, yeah.
So
it's good as you're going to get for a while.
Yeah, and that game is just absolutely perfect.
Dang.
Anybody owns a Switch, you need to get Link's Awakening.
It's been on my wish list since it came out, and like you said, it never goes on sale. So I'm like, I can't justify it. Like, I know it's great, but yeah, there we go. I just need to get a GameFly subscription.
Get a GameFly subscription and get a $20 discount.
There we go.
There you go.
Oh man. Cool,
but
man.
yeah, I played some of that, and then I also downloaded Genshin Impact.
I've heard a lot about that game over the last week or weekend for some reason.
So one of my best friends, Steve, him and I have virtually the same. We're pretty much the same human being, just born in different families.
Okay.
Weird. And so anytime any of us has an opinion on something, we usually align pretty much top to top on it. And so he's like, dude, have you played Genshin Impact yet? I was like, no, but I keep seeing everybody online talk and play about it. He's like, you should check it out. It's like a JRPG, and it feels like Tales of Vesperia, but plays like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah.
Okay, I'm down. So I downloaded it. I haven't played it much, so I can't really give an opinion on it. But just let all you cool kids out there know, I'm trying to keep up with the trends.
Nice.
I'm 32.
I know. I keep seeing everyone streaming on Twitch. I even had a buddy the other day streaming it, and I'm just like, what is this game? He's like, yeah, that's exactly what he said. He's like, oh, it's like this or that, different JRPG, but Breath of the Wild. And he's like, look, I can climb anything. And sure enough, he just like ran over to some random wall and started climbing it. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it's exactly Breath of the Wild. That's the only thing that makes Breath of the Wild what it is, that you can climb anything. So
that's kind of about time. I mean, Breath of the Wild. I mean, I don't understand how more game developers haven't jumped to that already. Like when Call of Duty dropped Modern Warfare, and then after that, every game was left trigger to aim down the sights, right trigger to shoot. Every game.
Right.
Like, how is it that open world games are still like, look at Ghost of Tsushima. Like, you can't climb anything in that game. You're still like walled off. Like, there's still barriers. So it's kind of nice to see that mechanic flood over into other games now. Or bubble up into other games. But yeah, let's check it out. I can't wait to jump into that. And then I'm still playing through a little bit of Metroid on 3DS. And I picked up Fire Emblem Fates Birthright. So I know Homeboy out there will be excited to hear that. I'm at the end. I think I have like 3 or 4 chapters left. And I got to go finish it.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Sounds like a fun weekend.
And Gloomhaven.
More of that.
Yeah,
so Garrett, I actually stand corrected. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I stand corrected, Garrett, because at one point I told you that my life sucks in comparison to yours because you play more video games than anybody I know. I stand corrected because now it is apparent that Zetch plays more video games than anybody that I know.
See, I don't play a lot.
Twice as much as you.
Here's the difference, okay? I don't play a whole lot of video games. I just play them in like tiny little chunks. So like I'll pick up a couple minutes here, pick up a couple minutes over here. It's not like I'm sitting down all weekend playing games.
Well, I pick up those couple minutes too, but then that's where it stops, and then there is no more minutes.
I do the 2 minutes, and then that's it.
And that's it.
And that's all.
Oh man.
See, you just need to get a Switch, JJ, so you can play more games in front of your kids, and then they'll be like, "Oh, cool, Dad, play this."
Like, let's play more games kids, on the toilet.
Genshin Impact.
My son has a Switch, and he's doesn't share the Switch very well. But
did you buy him the Switch, or did he buy the Switch?
I bought him the Switch.
That's your Switch, JJ. That's a myth. It's not Lee's. It's not your son's.
I like the way you think. Recently, I heard some sound in the bathroom, and I'm like, what is that in the bathroom? And like I went to the door and it was unlocked, and I opened the door and I looked in, and he was sitting on the pot with pants at his ankles, and he's sitting there just playing and with the headset on, talking to his friends. And I'm like, unplug, because I don't want to embarrass him, So I'm like, unplug, and he's like, what? I'm like, unplug. So he unplugs, and I'm like, you cannot sit on the toilet and yell at your friends while you're pooping, playing with your Switch.
Apparently,
so
anything could happen.
Apparently, you can.
It's disgusting. I mean, you can, but like, what kind of a monster are you?
Like, not with my Switch that I bought you, boy.
Poop fingers, gross.
Yeah, you know what? Just for that, you've lost all Switch privileges. I'm gonna go toss this into the fire.
Dude, he's close enough. Like, when he's with the gaming aspect of it, he's the type of kid who's. I think he's a half beat away from having that Switch in his hands on the pot and hollering to me, "Dad, can you wipe my butt? Because I can't, because I'm playing the Switch."
It's gonna be
I get that impression that he's there. He's almost there.
It's gonna be like the kid from. You remember when Halo was like it's in its prime? Like everybody played Halo. And there's this video of this kid. I was like, "Mom, hey mom, give me some chocolate milk."
Oh, yes.
Anybody hear that?
Oh,
Janet would walk in and slap the crap out of him. If my son talked to her like that, he would get a good hard right shot strike right to the throat. So.
Oh my gosh.
I don't advocate for domestic abuse, but that's how it is. That's how it is.
Okay. Well, on that note, let's move on to housekeeping here. Today we're talking about
CPS and getting called because of no.
Today we're talking about next gen console previews going on, record year for Xbox Game Studios, and some online abuse aimed towards some Insomniac game developers. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Super Gamer producer, Adrian the Homeboy Holmes, and our Super Gamer sponsors, Bill Bird, Julie Bates, Dustin Long, Dirty Dustin, Dirty, what's his name there? Is it
Dirty Dustin, Dirty D. Dirty D. We got to get like one of those milk cartons with Dirty D's photo on it. Have you seen Dustin Long? Dustin, we miss you, man. You haven't been active in the stuff. We still appreciate your support. We hope that you know that we still love you very much, and that on all of Garrett's binders, he actually has I Heart Dirty D on all of it. He has lots of binders. Show him one of your binders.
See this one up there.
Look at that. See, you can see it. It's small print, Dustin.
On the inside of this one here. Yeah. All the binders.
He also recently got an ankle tattoo of Adrian Homeboy Holmes that doesn't really even look anything like Adrian Holmes, to be perfectly honest. No, don't show him that tattoo.
Okay. Not that one.
Oh.
Okay.
Good night.
Whoops.
We just had a guest in the studio. Beautiful.
While I was pulling my pants down. Whoops.
One of my sessionlings. Hey, good night. I love you.
Ooh, good thing I didn't show you my butt tattoo there, because
oh,
you don't have.
I've seen it. It's actually a Volkswagen emblem. Doesn't make any sense, but it's got the VW logo on his butt.
I thought it was never mind.
Sorry. We have two more sponsors I got to rattle off here. We have Brent Fox and we have Daniel James. Thank you guys so much for supporting our show. If you want to support our show, get shout outs on the show, get sweet perks just like they do, you can go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys and get stuff like our bonus Super Gamer Book Club episode available at the end of every month. The new episode comes out this month. Actually, it's not September anymore. Last month was BioShock, and at the end of this month, you guys will be getting one about Mass Effect 2. So I've already talked. I know Zet, you've been playing it, and Boba. Oh wait, I don't know if we've announced our guest.
Quiet.
We have guests who are working on it.
You need to drop a bleep there.
We have guests who are playing the game currently. But if you want to find out more about how to support us over on Patreon, keep listening to the show. We'll talk about it later. I think it's time to check the mail.
Mailbag.
Perfect.
That sounded like a Valley Girl. I kind of like that. Mailbag.
Hey.
I love how it's different every week. You never know what we're going to get.
You never know. That's what makes it fun. Unless you want to invest in some actual bumpers, that's what you're getting.
Nah, man. That's too much work. Kajoma01, the board over on Discord, writes in, what? And this question breaks my heart. But what non-Kojima game would be the perfect game to be made into a movie? I feel like that was like very specifically targeted towards me. Kind of like personal attack there. And Kojima, I don't appreciate it. I thought we were friends.
Has anyone ever noticed that Kojima is very similar to Kojima?
Oh, is it the same person?
They could very well be the same person.
Just saying.
Am I BFFs with Kojima and I just don't know it?
Maybe.
Whew. Man, that just made my day.
Yeah. Kojima's so excited right now. The board is just right now going, oh my gosh, Garrett and I are BFFs. I knew it. I had a feeling. I knew it. That's awesome.
I'm definitely not Garrett's BFF.
No.
Just letting you know, Garrett.
No.
I'm not your
probably
BFF.
like his. Man. You're probably like his BEF. It's like best enemy forever.
I am your BFF, but I'm your best frenemy.
Okay.
Best frenemy.
Ooh, that
forever.
kind of works. That does work.
There you go.
I guess so.
We're BFFs.
This is all news to me because I didn't have any animosity towards you. No, nothing. But okay.
I got any animosity. We're frenemies.
Garrett,
Okay.
Garrett, let's be honest. We talk about it every week, all the time off the air, how much you dislike him. And you guys do the little catty fight thing.
Yeah.
And now you feel like you can probably take him in a fight. You've said this to me so many times, and you've actually described how the fight would go a few different ways. And I mean, I've heard so many different ways of like the MMA style fight that you would put on Zetch's butt. That's what you've told me that weekly you tell me.
I did
that.
about 2 sessions, which is about 4 hours of Muay Thai training. So I know how
that for sure means you can kick his butt.
You can't even spell Muay Thai.
You are.
No, I don't.
In those 4 hours that I did with my friend, it wasn't even at like a class. Like my friend was a trainer. You're correct.
It was in a backyard.
We did not go over how to spell Muay Thai. So yeah, you got me there.
See? Get out.
Oh man. So what game would be perfect
rules
to be made into a movie?
What game? And it can't be anything that exists right now, right? Is what he said.
Yeah. I think there was some things where it's like it can't be something that's already a movie, and I can't look because I'm recording video in Discord. But yeah, I think that was pretty much it.
Yeah, Mass Effect.
No.
Although I think Mass Effect would make a better TV show than it would a movie.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, would that be a better TV show, or would they actually, with a movie, would it be like
a
Lord of the Rings trilogy kind of thing?
I honestly think that like any video game you make, it should be either a TV show or like a really long anthology of films. Because you look at every like successful video game, like movie.
No, there's none.
Game. There's like no successful movies.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of successful TV adaptations.
So good.
Castlevania.
Super good.
Yeah. So I think that what I've been thinking about since I saw that question pop up was actually God of War. I think God of War would be phenomenal as a TV show, maybe on like Amazon Prime or something. I could see it being super epic. I don't think a movie would be long enough. I see like it being a big deal. And of course, I'm talking about the one that came out in 2018 or whatever. I just think that.
Yeah. Would you want it to just be a reiteration of that game though? Or like, I would almost want to see like what happened between 3 and then the 2018 one to gap that bridge. Like how in the, like, cause he was in, I assume Greece, cause it was all Greek mythology in like the first 3 games. And then this 4th one in 2018, Olympus, I guess.
Technically, you want to get technical.
I never actually played any of the previous God of War games, but I love the 2018 version or 2019 version. So, I mean, I would see a direct straight across, maybe a 14 episode run or a 2-season run of something like that. Like with a company that has a big budget like Netflix or Amazon Prime,
HBO
or Hulu
Max.
or something like that.
HBO Max.
For sure, absolutely.
There we go.
That big God of or Game of Thrones feel, where it's just big and epic.
HBO's already doing the Last of Us TV show. Why don't they just pick up another Sony property there?
Here's, what I was thinking about this the other weekend. This is actually funny because I didn't even read Kajoma's question when I thought about this. I saw it come through like this morning, and then I was actually thinking about I was mowing my lawns, and for some reason I was thinking about I was listening to Colin's Last Stand, and I don't know why I thought of this. They weren't even talking about TV shows, but why is it that whenever we make a game, we want to have like a TV or movie version of it? I mean, you just watched it. You already know how it ends. You already know the characters. Like, why do we want this? I don't know.
That's a good point.
It was just, I mean, like, I get it. I mean, there's like a weird sense of like nostalgia, I think, that we kind of get from seeing it. Like, it'd be great to see this happen, and more condensed with live action, I guess, with better graphics. But with gaming the way it is, especially on this next gen, it's almost like, why?
I wonder
unless you have something supplemental.
May I just say, Zetch, that you kind of surprised me how effortlessly you throw out how much money you have at your disposal when you're like, I was mowing my lawns. Like you have multiple lawns. So I have a front yard and a backyard. I understand that, but just the way you said it was, like I was mowing my lawns. Like, I wish I had 2 lawns. I only got 1, and it's kind of overgrown in the backyard.
I don't really have that much money.
What I was going to say is I think a lot of that is, you're right. Kind of like, I don't know if it's necessarily nostalgia, but it's like the idea of like, oh, I'd love to go back and experience that story without playing a 15, 20 hour game, whatever it is. But then also I think in today's like the entertainment culture, people assume something isn't like generally seen as successful or like critically acclaimed unless it's like I don't know, like it's almost like movies make things more official's not the word I'm looking for, but yeah, just like okay, now it's like a real piece of art kind of thing, like
pop culture.
Part of the pop culture, which I mean, it's not the case. You look at it, video games are becoming more and more popular in general culture, but I think for a long time before that, and it's still just kind of very prevalent today, where it's just like the idea is like, oh, if it's a movie now, it's like it's real art, or it's like something that could be that everyone can experience, because so many people have this like I don't want to touch a video game, I'm not a weirdo nerd or whatever like that. So yeah. But that's changing, but I think for a long time it's been the general feel. So I wonder if that has a lot to do with it. Is a movie makes it almost like legit,
makes it more real. Yeah, maybe that's it. I don't know, but I just thought it was an interesting thought, because it's like why of there's so much media out there to consume nowadays. Like, why play through a game and then go watch a movie or TV show about the thing you just played?
Yeah, and the other
there was something really exciting as a kid when I grew up being a huge He-Man fan and the Masters of the Universe, and when that became a live-action film, it was exciting to see that in flesh and blood and to see that come to realization of looking real life. Yeah. Of course, it sucked, but still, it was one of those things that I remember the excitement about that. Seeing He-Man, what he would look like in real life, and Skeletor, and how they would do, Trapjaw, and all the different characters from the show. So I think there's something like that inside of us that wants to see those animated characters come to life and be like a real flesh and blood, realized character. I think there's an aspect to that's inside of each of us.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
But what game would I want to see made as a movie? I think if it was anything, it would be, I don't know, similar type thing to like with the God of War example.
He's struggling to come up with something that's not Kojima. You look like your brain is about to break.
No, what I was going to explain though is like it was similar, like how we were talking about the God of War thing. I don't want it to be exactly as the game. I'd like it to be like, oh, what happened in between here and there, like similar like with Star Wars. They have the
Mandalorian,
Rogue One, exactly. Like Rogue One is an amazing movie because it's like, oh, like this is a period that a lot happens.
Like the second best Star Wars film.
100%. Rogue One's amazing.
Out of all the Star Wars, second best.
Yeah.
At me on it. I dare you.
And so like God of War would be a great movie, like just again to show that journey, whether it was between how did he come from the one area he's in to this new area that has all the Nordic and Norse mythology, stuff like that, or heck, even
Dragon Age would be a cool TV show. I was gonna BioWare train.
Oh shoot, I was gonna say Fallout. So that was the one I've been thinking of, but they're making a TV show on Amazon Prime now. So dang it, that was my answer like all day today. I was thinking about Fallout,
baby.
But that's already happening.
I'll take that show. I'm excited about that. Of course, if they ever make it, I mean, they've been saying they're gonna make a Lord of the Rings show for like eons now.
Which apparently they're getting like, I feel like the last I heard an update, like they've actually started filming it now.
Yeah, I thought they had filmed and then COVID happened and it shut down filming.
That sounds about right.
Photography.
So like that could be coming out next year, the next couple
of
years.
And that's going to be on Prime because they were putting a lot of money into that.
Yeah.
It's going to be so good. I miss Lord of the Rings. I can't wait to get back into that universe. But yeah, anyway, Dragon Age would be a cool universe to jump into as a TV show, like an HBO show. Because I mean, they already have Game of Thrones. They'd be able to, I think, move into like a Dragon Age type story pretty well.
Really anything that's like an open world type game, because those games in themselves are already like, hey, you can do what you want, make your own story. So to make like a TV or movie about it, it would just almost feel like, oh, I'm just watching someone else's playthrough of the game, essentially. Like that would make sense more so than like a linear single player like God of War, Spider-Man, Last of Us type thing.
Kind of cool? Wolfenstein.
Oh yeah, I would.
Wolfenstein would be kind of a cool universe. Just because there's a lot of texture there already. Like I don't know if you've played any of those. Have you played them?
I've not finished them. Those were ones I got like they did like the free weekends. They for both of them they've done like free weekends, so you have like a couple days to play it, and I enjoyed them both. And just never pulled the trigger on them, but they're both on PlayStation PS Now. right now. I realize a lot of Bethesda games are on PS Now, which I wonder how long it's going to last now that they're owned by Microsoft. Like, there's a lot.
You know what I think? Here's the deal, guys. Microsoft, but we'll say this thing and we can move on if you want. But
yeah, I just realized we're getting way off in left field.
We're
but go ahead and say your thing quick.
So hard right now. But here's the deal. I want to put all this to bed, and you know, we can put it on the board if we want. Okay? I don't think Microsoft is going to pull those properties off of Sony. I don't. You know why? Because Sony's install base is high. Microsoft's install base is high. So you create all these games. They're great games. They're going to sell really well on both systems. Now, they can either win by getting those people to subscribe to Game Pass, or they win by having them buy it for $70 on a next-gen console.
Yeah, they're double dipping there.
They win-win. You get happy customers on both sides. They're not really in it to sell Xbox Series X consoles. They're in it to sell Game Pass subscriptions. So if they happen to sell a bunch of extra games on Sony, screw you, Sony. We're literally making money off your console.
Yeah, I think that they're going to probably, and I could be wrong, but they're going to do a case-by-case basis. Where there's going to be some games that they allow. I'm sorry, but essentially there's going to be some games that they're like, we really want this to be only on the Xbox. There's going to be others that they go ahead and share and try to double dip. Why wouldn't they? That's the smart business decision, and that's ultimately what they're in the business of, is business.
Exactly.
It's all about making money.
It was a $7.5 billion buy, and then they're just going to lock it all up on their console? No. They're not doing that. That's a big investment just to leave on your console when you know people on the other console are going to buy your games.
Yeah, and every time someone fires up that game on PlayStation, it says Xbox Game Studios across it. Or Microsoft Game Studios, whatever it is.
Ew.
Yeah, that's pretty slick.
We can move on.
Yeah, question number 2 here from Shadow Ranger 02 on Discord. Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on the Oculus Quest 2 coming out soon? And also, do you guys think that VR headsets and controllers will replace how we play games in the future?
So, as being the resident VR gamer, I guess I'll speak first. The Oculus Quest 2 looks amazing. I think at this point I would still prefer to get a Rift S or something akin to that, just because I like having. I already game on my PC. I'd rather just have everything set up on my PC. It's simpler. You know, you do have sensors and whatnot. Although I think the Rift S has inside-out tracking, which makes that even easier. So it's almost like you're getting a pretty good headset with less setup than what I currently have to do right now, because I have the original Rift, and I don't really want to have all my games locked up on the Oculus Store. I'd rather get them all locked up on the Steam account, where I can have more flexibility with, you know, different headsets and stuff like that. So that just seems like a smarter decision to me. But as far as the second part of that question, you know, if it's going to be the future of gaming, I don't think it's going to replace consoles. I don't. As much as I do love VR gaming, there's just something nice about sitting on my couch with my hands in my lap as I play on a controller and just vegging out, you know? Where a lot of Oculus games or VR games have you standing up, moving around, ducking and dodging and rolling and crashing into things, if you're me. But yeah, that's my take.
Yeah, as far as my thoughts on the Quest 2, I've always been interested in the Quest already, because I like the idea of it being standalone. And then later on, it was kind of like an afterthought. Just in the last year, they added the PC Link option with it. And I mean, and Uzech said that your buddy tried it, and I guess it wasn't as easy or like, you know, straightforward to use it as they advertise it.
Yeah,
but,
he had. Go ahead.
But I was going to say, but the Quest 2, it seems like they're actually building the hardware to actually use it. Like the original Quest wasn't originally designed to do that. It was something they fixed software wise, or I think from what I can tell, at least in the advertising on the Quest 2, it's built in hardware wise to be able to do this PC link. So obviously we don't know until we see it, previews get out there. But if the PC link works better than the Quest 2 than like what your buddy, his experience with the first Quest, man, I'd be totally down, because I'd be able to have a unit where I can just like, yeah, literally just go anywhere in any room, hotel room, take it on trips to me, holiday trips to family's house, and just be able to fire up a Beat Saber. That would be awesome in any room, anywhere.
You'd want to do that after traveling, running around?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be like, throw it in my backpack, buy the little case, because it comes a little, you can buy a little case for the Quest 2. That would literally fit in my backpack. And then, I'm at my friend's house next week. I'm going to Seattle. Fire it up in his room. I don't have to bring my PC or anything like that. That'd be awesome. But then also have that ability, if the PC link works better, hopefully, then I can still play all like the high powered games that my PC runs, and just be tethered to a computer, but and experience all that too. So I don't know if it actually all works as well as they are advertising it to be, then I don't know. I'm super interested in the Quest 2.
First of all, I never saw the request for you to try to take time off to go to Seattle next week, so denied. You probably want to try to talk with me, seeing as how I'm the manager. So let's go ahead and bring that up.
Route manager
at the office. I
don't drive a car.
I never saw that.
I don't have
Some
a route,
people say tomato. So. I say complete overlord manager. You call it whatever you'd like. I'm your boss. That's just kind of how it works.
Okay.
But as far as all that, it might be a little weird for you. It's not bothering me.
Don't break
up. I like
guys.
having a little bit of the power and everything. No, we're fine. We're fine. But we'll talk about it off air, Garrett. We'll have a discussion. We'll see if we can work something out. You might want to just grease the palms, a little bit of Taco Bell, and I might just let it slide and let you go on a little
easy peasy.
Well, I don't know if you've had to pay for any of those like Cinnabon, the Cinnabon little the light poppers. Like those things can get pretty pricey, dude. So, I'm just saying, and me likey. So if you want to bring some to work tomorrow, we'll talk about your day off. But as far as me,
what are your thoughts on VR, JJ? What are your thoughts on VR?
That's what I was getting to. That's what I was getting to. Although really, those things are really tasty. Just try them out. Taco Bell. Basically, I don't have any real experience with VR other than my PS4 experience, and I really struggled with a lot of the. I'm just feeling queasy and not feeling well. I'd love to have more opportunities. Let's give it a try. I don't think it will ever replace regular video gaming. Can it be in the future? I mean, it might get it better and better, but I don't think it would ever replace standard video gaming at all.
Yeah, I don't think it'll ever it'll replace standard like console video gaming in like 100 years maybe. Like I don't think it's anytime soon. It's going to be like, okay, 100 years from now when it's almost indistinguishable, or what'll happen is people are playing VR to play they're playing a console in the VR game kind of thing. Like that's what and it's going to be like 100 years from now, like if we're all even still here. We haven't nuked ourselves to death or something like that. But
I've actually used my Rift as that. Like they have a mode in there where you can have it like just basically set up like, so you're looking at like a giant like movie theater size screen, and you can just play like, I was like just playing like The Witcher, and awesome. On that I'm like, wow, this is really big. The resolution isn't as high, but it's still kind of cool.
Yeah, when I had my PSVR, I would do that. We lived in a studio apartment for a while when we first moved here, so our bed was in the living room, and the TV was super bright. I want to play PlayStation, and my wife's like, I want to sleep, so I put on my VR headset and basically play like standard PS4 games, like on like this ginormous, like to me it was like this huge movie theater screen. I'm playing God of War or whatever. I'm like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Like having to turn my head to like read the subtitles and stuff. Like, this is crazy.
You had Resident Evil 7, and I know like yes. I played that game with you on VR. When you played that game, did you typically play it at home on VR, or did you play it outside of the VR?
I played I beat it in 8 hours. First 4.5 hours, I did VR. And then the last half, I was like, okay, this is too much for me. I need a break. It's too much VR. So then I played the last half of it just normal. But that game is amazing. Even in VR, like it's a lot. Like it's a little overstimulating, especially because that was like the first game I played in VR. I bought my PSVR, got Resident Evil 7.
It's heavy.
It's a lot because usually for the first few weeks, even month, you have your VR headset, you're kind of getting your sea legs with stuff. But I really enjoyed it. Like it was an amazing experience.
Now, when you played it in VR, are you playing with a controller or are you playing with the Move wands or whatever they're called?
It's controller. Resident Evil 7's controller.
Okay, so when you guys come, we'll have to set up a time at my house where you guys actually play like the Rift, because once you throw in like the touch controllers and you have like haptic feedback, and you're like pulling the trigger on like a gun, you can feel it like kind of shock you.
It's so good. It's good.
It's a whole nother level.
Yeah, I just had to give my buddy's Oculus that I was borrowing for a while. I just had to give it back to him. I was like, I haven't finished Half-Life Alyx yet. He's like, oh, you can get it right back. He just needs it like for this week to his family was coming. He's like, I'll get it right back to you. I'm like, oh, sweet, thank you.
You're never getting it back.
Yeah, I need to finish it still too. I've told my wife, I was like, I still got to finish that because that's gonna be my game of the year. Like I already know it, but I'm gonna need to finish it before I can actually confidently say it's my game of the year.
Oh man, so that's it for mailbag, and we're 40 minutes into a show. So let's burn through these news stories here. I think it's time for the nerdy nudes.
I love talking to our listeners, though, man. It's fun.
No, it's so fun. This is the best part of the show. The best part of the show. Mailbag, and then talking about what games you're playing. Like, it's like a perfect sandwich with some nerdy nudes in the middle, I guess.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the nerdy news.
Alrighty, so first up here, about a week ago, influencers on the interwebs started getting preview versions of the Xbox Series X. Pretty awesome, pretty crazy. They're doing it very different from Sony. Sony also had a preview event. So Xbox was actually sending Series X consoles to people's homes. You can have it right there in your home, right on your TV stand, do whatever you want with it. It's yours. Like, here you go. You play it. I'm sure they have to ship it back maybe when afterwards. I don't know how they're doing
Usually
it, but yeah, actually, most likely, I think probably not. But they have it there, experience in their home. Sony did it a little differently, where they actually made people come do an event, apparently, and they just did it with a few YouTubers and like higher, like bigger news sites, and that put out a lot of like Famitsu and stuff like that did YouTube videos. But you know, that just goes to show how very different companies Sony and Microsoft are. But first up here, so it says here in this article over at Tech Radar that no one's getting to play next-gen games yet, and technically these impressions are from prototype hardware, but a selection of Xbox One games are allowing reviewers to see the difference between Series X's power, Series X's power can bring. So at this point, they haven't actually played an Xbox Series X game. Everything's like just an Xbox One game, and so it like loads a little faster and stuff like that. But here's some of the headlines and synopsis from some of the different news sites. So The Verge writes, load times to die for. The most significant and obvious improvement with existing games on the Xbox Series X is a massive change to load times. I noticed load times drop in pretty much every single game I've tested over the past week. Games like Sea of Thieves, Warframe, and Destiny 2 have their load times cut by up to a minute or more on the Series X. In Destiny 2, for example, I can now load into a planet in the game in around 30 seconds compared to over a minute later on an Xbox One X, and nearly 2 minutes in total on a standard Xbox One.
Heck yeah.
The improved load times are identical to my custom-built PC that includes a fast NVMe SSD, and they genuinely transform how you play the game. You can get more quests and tasks done instead of sitting around looking at a planet loading. GameSpot, the beauty of Quick Resume. Related to the new tech and velocity architecture, Quick Resume. It's the all-new Series X and Series S feature that lets you suspend state of your current game to go into another one, and another one, and another one, all without shutting down or rebooting any of those games. In practice, Quick Resume works just by hitting the Xbox home button and switching over to a different game. There's no deliberate option or step you need to take to actually use a feature. Swapping between games takes about 5 to 8 seconds, meaning you'll be right where you paused each game in a fraction of the time it would take to relaunch an entire game, and without needing to reload a save. Game states even persist after powering the console off, which that's crazy. So that's like insane. You can, so basically it's just like with an emulator in your save states. That's what your Xbox is doing now. It's using basically emulator technology. Games have save states. Exactly. So it's just like
kind of.
It
you
remembers
can't load
this.
Back to it, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, you can't load back to it, but when you fire up that game again, you're just right there where you left off. Now it says you can do it. It says you can do it over and over and over again. I wonder how many games like you can have quick resume, like, and you have like 20
That's
games,
gotta
like in
bog
quick
down.
resume.
That's gotta bog it down at some point, right?
It's
got to. Can you imagine if it doesn't? Like, if you open up like all the biggest games you can possibly like Fallout,
Call
Red
of Duty,
Dead, yeah, all of them.
Man, that would just kill the console. But I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they say it's the most powerful console in the world. So
doesn't mean it's not breakable. It doesn't say it's the most unbreakable console.
I mean,
it crashes. I think. I mean, it's V1 too. So who knows? But that's awesome.
Right.
Anyway, keep going.
Eurogamer says improvements across the board. Iterative improvements will be the order of the day for many games though. I can't read at all. It's written in British. I can't understand it.
You can't read British.
At least in the short term. Titles that hit their performance targets on Xbox One and One X will continue to do so on the Series X. So looking at the classic Rise of the Tomb Raider, its 4K quality mode still caps to 30 frames per second. You just get a lot to that performance target. Doom Eternal runs beautifully already, but the Series X GPU will max out its dynamic resolution scaler. Modern Warfare 2019, the performance issues seen on the Xbox One X are gone, and the Surfeit, what? I don't know what these words, British people, man. If GPU can be on offer, expect dynamic resolution to max, all of which perhaps make the task more challenging, as I was looking to get a quantifiable measure of just how much power the Series X gives library titles. So basically, they're just saying, like, it doesn't necessarily upgrade things to 60 frames per second, but you're getting, like, super smooth 30, whatever it's capped at, plus, like, graphical enhancements here and there, which is pretty sweet. IGN mentions that's quiet and quick. VentureBeat likes the controller. Best gamepad, which is interesting. Like, so the new Elite controllers, are not even the... Oh, this isn't for the Elite controller. We're talking about the actual one that comes with the console. High quality materials, nice grip, and the heft. It says the biggest improvement is to the heft. I don't think this controller is that much heavier than the most recent Xbox controller revision. The difference is in the weight distribution. Microsoft puts all the mass into the grips of the controller, and it feels wonderful. So, yeah, a lot of people are basically just loving on the Series X, which is pretty sweet. It'll be interesting to see and hear once they actually get to play Series X games, like enhanced games or made for Series X, how pretty they look on there. That's what I want to really hear. But it's good to hear that at least like the base simple things that every console should get right, but sometimes doesn't get right, like they've gotten right so far. So that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Although I noticed no one mentioned anything about the UI, which a lot of people, I feel like not a lot of people, but that is something I hear about the One X and like the One S, like the Xbox One. A lot of people didn't like the dashboard and stuff like that. So I'm curious what the UI.
I hate the Xbox One dashboard.
So I'm wondering, no one mentioned, how amazing the UI is on the Series X. So I wonder if it's more the same, or is it better? Is it enhanced?
I miss the Xbox 360 dash.
The blades?
I miss it so much.
Oh man, miss those blades. So that's it for Series X. Any thoughts on that? Anything tickle your fancy? Anything hit you in your jellies?
I got an email earlier this week saying that there's still a chance I can get one. Since I got that all access approval but wasn't able to get the console, I guess Microsoft has a few more left, and which I kind of wonder if that's a scam. Can you imagine if that's a scam?
I got it too, though.
I'm gonna check the links on it because that would suck if it's a scam. Like if they're just like looking at emails for people that I don't know.
There's no way.
I mean, it's probably not a scam, but worth double checking.
Man, now you have me all worried.
But if it's not a scam, I'm gonna be really excited because they said that within the next before the 19th, there's a chance that I'll get an email from them saying, "Hey, you got 72 hours to claim your Xbox." So
yeah, that's pretty sweet. They're doing that.
Yeah, if that works out, I'll be a pretty happy man.
Heck yeah. Cool. Well, let's run over the PS5 real quick. So Japanese media and YouTubers recently had the chance to go hands-on on the PS5. And let me see here. AV Watch was one of the Japanese publications that was able to test out the PS5. And even though Sony still wasn't willing to show off the PS5's UI, we did learn a couple interesting facts. That's another thing with PlayStation is they're still hiding parts of the console.
They're so cagey. Like, they're getting beat down by Microsoft at this point. Like, Microsoft is literally running the show in terms of media and press. Microsoft. Like, will it matter? Probably not. But I mean, right now, dude, like, Sony, come on, stop being so tight-lipped.
Yeah, like making people come to a separate location to test the console during like COVID times here. It's like, okay, like some people aren't comfortable with that. Like send them a console at home. Why are you hiding the UI? There's only like 2 games they're allowed to play and only certain sections again. Like it's all very...
It's like they don't know how to launch a console. It's like at this point you want people to get excited about your console. For them to get excited, they gotta like... see it.
Just let them chill on their couch in their boxers playing some PlayStation, dude.
Like,
some people just want to eat Cheetos and play PS5 and get orange stains all over their white controller. They mentioned that they it was noted how quiet the PS5 was in action, which will be a welcome change from how some of the most taxing games make the PS4 sound like a jet engine. They also mentioned the DualSense's buttons make less noise when pressed as opposed to the DualShock 4. Speaking of the DualSense,
I like it when my buttons make noise. It means I'm hitting them.
Yeah.
When you're clicking them when they're clicky.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it when they stick.
Right.
But I like to know that it's some sort of...
You want to feel it. You want to know that it's there. Yeah, of course.
That's just interesting because when I think of the DualShock 4 though, I don't think like, oh, those clicky buttons. Like I don't think I've ever heard the buttons when I press them, so I don't know what that's a reference to. But apparently, has an issue for people having clicky PS4 buttons. They also gave us a glimpse at how the light bar works with various colors, including blue, red, green, purple. I don't know if that means it's customizable or something, but there's different colors in the light bar, just like the current controller has. All the publications touch upon how the adaptive triggers and haptic feedback feel and how quickly the SSD allowed games to cut down on load times. So yeah, everyone really enjoyed the triggers, which I'm kind of interested on what that actually looks like in gameplay. So maybe I'll pop open an article here and let that load for a second. Fast hard drive, which we all knew that was coming. They have their custom hard drive with their custom motherboard, making everything super hyper fast. They have a lot of still images of the actual console because a lot of those things you see online are doctored up and photoshopped.
I haven't even seen an image of the console yet. Really? Good thing they got those photos.
Yeah, right.
What's it look like?
A spaceship.
Is it look tall and white?
It looks like
a
wave.
Wi-Fi router.
It looks like a big Netgear Wi-Fi router.
It really does. You see
It does.
I saw a size comparison chart. Have you seen the size of that PS5?
It's huge.
It's a monster.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna put it? You're gonna have to buy like a special wall mount.
Well, they have one sitting next to a TV here in the one picture, and they don't tell you how big the TV is, but just by like looking at the table.
That's a 25-inch TV.
I mean, I was gonna say I think it's.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's probably at least a 40-inch because it's like and this thing is like almost as tall as the TV essentially. Not almost like half, 3/4 of the size. It comes up pretty far on the edge of the TV.
Wow.
It's a big.
I haven't seen that photo.
It's on this IGN article, and obviously depth perception, like the PlayStation's a little closer and the TV's farther away, but still like you can do the math and the thinking in your head like, oh, okay, this thing's like half the size of the TV basically.
Yeah, it's at least a fourth of the size.
It's big. Either way, it's chunky.
It's big.
Especially standing up. Like I have it standing up. And
it is not low profile.
Even laying on its side though, like it's thick too. Like it's like stands real big. And then so basically they let some Japanese YouTubers play Astro's Playroom and Godfall, and which they did show some. You can actually watch some gameplay video from that. I was impressed by the load times on some of the games. Like people were playing Godfall and they'd get killed, and like literally within like 5 seconds, boom, like they were right back, like restarted the game. Where typically a game like with that graphical fidelity and everything going on in that world and all the textures and particles, I don't know, that's like a 30-second load time after you die. Like think about Star Wars. What's the new Star Wars game that just came out last year?
Jedi Fallen Order.
Jedi Fallen Order. Like that, I stopped playing that game because every time I died, it was like a 2-minute wait. Like, so this is like Godfall, like way higher graphical fidelity, a lot of stuff going on, and it's literally like 5-6 seconds, and boom, they're right back in the game after they died. I'm like, oh man, if Jedi Fallen Order loads like that, I'll be all over that.
Yeah. Well, Spider-Man, and they demoed the Spider-Man remaster, and there is no load times.
It's crazy.
Like none. Like you warp from like the entire map, the distance of the entire map there, and you're there. Boom. Done.
I can only imagine how much that might help Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh my gosh, right?
Dude.
Resident Evil, Dishonored 2. Dishonored 2 had terrible wait times.
So bad. Yeah.
Load times.
So yeah, not too much really from on the PlayStation side. It's kind of interesting. I mean, they did their reveals very differently, or their previews very differently. So I hope we see or hear more before it comes out, but maybe not. So yeah, any thoughts on those two? You know, PS5 previews, anything excite you? Or, you know, honestly, for me, I feel like it's just information we already kind of knew, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Nothing new. But I got to tell you, I'm really excited about the Xbox this time around for this console season.
That is the biggest thing. It's nice to hear everyone being so positive on the Xbox. Like reading through that stuff, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Like, there's a lot of features that we knew were going to be good, but then in practice, like they actually are good. People are enjoying them. So I don't know. Good on Xbox. They're killing it so far.
Yeah.
I think given if I wasn't getting the PlayStation 5 already, if I just had a choice, honestly, I can say that I probably, because of the bang for the buck and the low monthly payment, I think I would just be going with the Xbox this season. I mean, I'm going to be getting both due to me getting one from work, but if they just have them at work, I'm going to steal one. But if I wasn't going to get a PS5 from work, I would only be getting the Xbox. That's one of the things that I've come up with in my head the last several weeks. Is it's like if I could only get one, I think I would be going Xbox this time around.
Yeah.
I know that sounds crazy coming from me because I'm such a Sony fan and I'm such a fan of the games that Sony's provided. But I just think that the quality of Game Pass and everything that comes along with Xbox right now, for that price, you just can't beat it. They really have knocked it out of the park through this whole process. And it feels like Sony is kind of dragging hind tit with how much effort they've put out there and excitement they put out there about this upcoming console. They just haven't met Xbox's enthusiasm for this season of the console wars.
100%. No,
100%.
I've honestly been leaning the same way. For me, it's like I still love the PlayStation exclusives so much. I still would always eventually get a PlayStation, I think. But my biggest thing is like, okay, up front, like I can't afford a PlayStation outright. Xbox has this all access plan. Like, I am 100% ready for like Xbox to be my main console now, and Sony just to be for like the exclusives. To be completely honest, like I'm more and more starting.
Who would have thought we'd
be
saying that? The two of us would be saying that 1 year ago, Garrett. We would have never said that.
I mean, and a lot of that.
What does that say about how quality Xbox has been as of late?
They're killing it, like with the Game Pass and with all access and with the features that they're dumping into the Series X and
purchasing Bethesda.
Yeah, like having.
Yeah, I was going to say purchasing Bethesda is a big one. It is a very big one.
It is. It's huge, and so yeah, I mean, and that's kind of roll into this next article here. Talking more good about Xbox here. This is actually from their blog, Xbox Wire. 10 new titles, critical acclaim, and exceptional engagement mark a record year for Xbox Game Studios. As by Aaron Greenberg, their general manager of Xbox Games Marketing. I'm inspired by the dedication and extraordinary work across our many talented creative teams within Xbox Game Studios to launch a record number of first-party games this year. In addition to a record-breaking year for games we've launched, many of these titles have earned strong critical acclaim as well as impressive engagement from our fans. 15 Xbox Game Studios games launched to date, 10 of which are brand new titles and many more to come, a record for Xbox. 1.66 billion hours played by our fans and counting, the most ever year to date for Xbox Game Studio titles. And this is just talking about Xbox Game Studio, like studios owned by Xbox, which is insane. 1.66 billion hours played, and that's just for games made by Xbox Game Studios, like in-house. Microsoft Flight Simulator, our longest-running franchise, returned with an overall Metacritic score of 92, a top-rated PC game this year. Ori and the Will of the Wisp was the highest-rated Xbox game we launched this year with an average Metacritic score of 90. Grounded, a new release from Obsidian, quickly exceeded more than 1 million players, while Sea of Thieves has now surpassed 15 million players to date. Wasteland 3 not only was a fan favorite and previously won the award for Best RPG at Gamescom, it also had an average Metacritic score of 86. In July, at the Xbox Game Showcase, we announced 5 new titles from Xbox Game Studios. We remain in awe of everything our players have done, as we've seen some incredible in-game stats as well. Microsoft Flight Simulator players have already logged over 26 million flights and more than 1 billion miles flown, which averages to about 15 times more than the number of real-life flights taken globally each day in 2019, and enough miles to circumnavigate the globe over 40,000 times. Minecraft Dungeons has become a co-op favorite with 6.9 million multiplayer sessions over the past 2 months, nearly 2/3 of which, 4.4 million, were couch co-op, which is awesome.
Oh, cool. That goes with couch co-op?
I didn't realize that either. That's pretty awesome.
I'm going to have to get that for me and my son.
100%.
That game has become the big popular thing at my house with my son. He has fallen in love with Minecraft Dungeons over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I played a little bit on PC when it first came out, but yeah, it's like right off the bat, I'm like, oh, this would be something I'd rather play on console. And now knowing, like, I knew it was multiplayer, but knowing there's couch co-op, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, this would be a perfect couch co-op game.
You and your wife can totally get down on some Minecraft Dungeons.
This has got to get an Xbox.
Let's go, Trudy.
More than 500 million bugs have been squashed and grounded, but there are over 10 quintillion insects in the world, so we've only exterminated 0.00000000005%. So yeah, they finish out here. It's been a tremendous year so far, and it's going to get even better with the launch of Series X and Series S on November 10th. Across 4 generations and thousands of games playable this holiday, this will be the largest launch lineup in the history of gaming. We'll be sharing even more details on every game being fully optimized this holiday for the launch of the Series X and S later this month, as well as showing more gameplay from these titles. So stay tuned for more. So Xbox, like, from the outside, seems like they're freaking killing it. But then when they share stats like this, it's like, oh, internally, like, they are on fire right now. Like,
it's a good year.
It's awesome.
They didn't share any sales data, notice.
But yeah, that is interesting. But I mean, they did say after pre-orders went live, they said this was one of their biggest, like, sales kind of bumps to date. I forget the exact.
Not saying a whole lot.
Yeah, I don't remember their exact verbiage, but it was something like, "Hey, this is like a huge, like."
They said it was the most amount of sales they've received on a launch for a console launch ever, which is saying enough.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, that goes to. Go ahead.
It just means that they're not. That means they're still. It means they know Sony and Nintendo are beating them at sales. That's what that means. In general.
I mean, but I
like
don't know.
Year to date,
Nintendo
and Sony are killing Microsoft when it comes to actual money.
Oh yeah, 100%. But again, like, I think that's where this is turning around now with this new. Like, I'm really, like, Sony hasn't said anything about their pre-orders, but
they haven't said anything.
Yeah, exactly. They haven't said. They're radio silent. But I just wonder how much, like, I don't know. I know, like, the whole console war thing is, like, stupid, but Xbox, I think, is going to kill it this next generation. I think they're easily going to outsell Sony. I think they easily outsell PS5 this next generation and become, like, top dog. I think they take back
they're not going to outsell
place.
PS5. It's going to be a weird console war. I don't think they're going to outsell Sony. I think Sony's going to still be top dog in terms of console sales, but I think Microsoft will beat them in terms of software sales. And obviously in terms of subscriptions. So, I mean, when it comes to which company's going to make more, I don't know. I don't know.
I think that there's going to be a lot more people like me that are going for both systems, given that there's the $25 or $35 a month with the Game Pass, there's going to be a lot more people that are like, dude, I can't afford that. Think about how many streaming services most of us pick up. On average, most people have 3 streaming services. I know we have more than that currently right now, and we're thinking of getting rid of Netflix. And I happen to love Netflix, but I'm willing to drop it if that means it's more affordable for me to have the Xbox.
Yeah, 100%. I have been thinking about the same thing. I'm like, what streaming services can I get rid of to make that more reasonable? Because we have way more than we even watch. Like, I already canceled. We had CBS All Access because we watched Survivor, and Survivor season ended like 6 months ago, and we still were paying for like $10 a month. I'm like, why do we have this thing? Like, we don't watch it. We don't watch Star Trek or anything else on there. Twilight Zone. So got rid of that. And I've been thinking the same thing for Netflix. It's like $16 a month for the 4K version, all that stuff.
We have HBO Max, Amazon Prime, and Disney Plus bundled. So like the Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN.
Nice. Yeah.
So after we got rid of our Netflix, I haven't even missed it. Especially since The Office and like Parks and Rec are leaving.
They're leaving anyways, yeah.
They're leaving anyways. Like that's literally all we would watch on there. Apart from like maybe the one-offs.
I just got Peacock for like free right now.
How's that?
And so I like it quite a bit. There's not a whole lot of stuff on there, but there's a good decent amount of stuff. There's a lot of great older shows on there. Some things you have to pay for right away. Some things are only going to be free for a limited time. I didn't sign up for the thing. Janet did, and so she said, "Yeah, I have Peacock," and she said she hasn't put any credit card information in, so she's like, apparently for now this stuff is free.
Well, yeah, it's free like Hulu was originally, where it's like, oh, you get like it's just free, it just runs ads.
Right. So from what I got so far, I watched the Mr. Rogers documentary on there last night.
Amazing. And that made me cry.
It's an amazing documentary, and it let me know what I already knew. That guy was just an incredible person, but just what a beautiful human being. And so the moment I saw that on, I didn't want to watch anything else but that, because I'm that kind of nerd. I love documentaries. So I think Peacock is great. Would I be willing to pay for it? Probably not. I think we're going to get to a point where we just have the bundle of Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN, because I do like to watch me some MMA fights on occasion.
Heck yeah.
I don't like anything else on the ESPN app, by the way. I don't care for any.
Oh man, they got
sports.
the US Open on there. I love watching tennis.
No, what grown man watches that? I don't. What? I don't watch football or foosball.
What
or
grown man watches? What?
Yeah, grown men watch documentaries and professional wrestling. They don't waste time watching team
tennis
sports.
Is awesome. Tennis is amazing. Tennis is one of the funnest sports to play and to watch. It's intense.
It cannot be the funnest sport to play because funnest isn't a word. So technically you're wrong.
It's the most fun sport to play. And it is a word because you can spell it.
No, because you'd have to run. You'd have to run a bunch. And I'm fat, so running is not fun. Again,
that's every sport.
Not the funnest sport ever. That is true. That's why I don't like sports.
Yeah, sports suck.
You suck.
Wait, do I suck or does Garrett suck? Because Garrett does kind of suck. I'm going to be honest.
Definitely Garrett sucks. Hashtag Garrett sucks.
Yeah, hashtag Garrett does suck. And I don't know if that's another hashtag, Garrett does suck.
Nope. That's
also, and he doesn't know how to ask for days off to his manager. So
hashtag Garrett doesn't ask for days off. Hashtag like a boss.
Hashtag like a boss.
Alrighty, guys. We are very far into the show. We had one more news story we're going to talk about, but you know what? We're not.
All right.
Cutting it.
That's fair.
Basically, there's some controversy with Spider-Man. Just go look it up. Everyone's talking about it.
Everybody's talking about it.
You probably already have heard about it.
You probably heard about it on the news story.
He cut that out right now because, like a boss, I text him right now, cut that article. That's why. Hashtag like a boss. Thank you.
All right, so let's talk about how you can support us over on Patreon. All right, guys. So if you are loving our show so far, or have loved it for a while, hopefully, you're a longtime fan and not just stumbling in here. If you're new here, sit back, relax. You don't have to support us right away. But if you've been listening to this for a while and you're like, man, these guys make some pretty quality content, or even if it's crappy content, but you just like JJ's jokes, check us out over at patreon.com/supergamerboys. Support us over there. For just $1 a month, you get our episodes early and ad-free, so you don't hear this little spiel. And also, you get our Super Gamer Book Club episodes every month. We come out at the end of every month, release one of those. Last month, it was BioShock. This month, it's going to be Mass Effect 2. Next month, who knows? You'll have to support us and find out. Well, you don't have to find out. You don't have to support us to find out, but you'll have to support us to listen to it. $5 a month, you get our... which one is that? That's our show notes early. You get our show notes early, so you can actually see what we're going to be talking about the night of recording. Leave your own comments and concerns, thoughts, questions, whatever you want to put on there. Happens once in a great while. I wish people, that's one thing I wish people would do more. Once in a great while, like Derek or Dan will slip something in there on our Google Doc. But yeah, if you ever notice an email come through when I post the show notes, check it out, because then you can know ahead of time what we're going to talk about. And if you have thoughts on a news story, like your own opinion or thought, leave us a paragraph. I'll read the whole thing, as long as we're not short for time like we are today. But $10 a month, you get our shout out on a show because you are a sponsor. So you guys are awesome. There's a lot of you guys who support us at that level. Thank you so much. And then we have our Patreon producer level, $15 a month. And just like our Patreon producer, Adrian Homeboy Holmes, you can be on shows. He was on the Super Gamer Book Club. He's been on episodes in the past, and you get to chime in once in a while and give us cool ideas for segments and whatnot. So support us over there if you really truly love what we do. And Adrian, we're so grateful for your support and also your talent, because you came on the show and made the Super Gamer Book Club so good. So thank you to all the Patreon supporters. If you're interested, again, remember, go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys. And now let's get back to the show. Alrighty, guys. So new releases for this past week.
Big week.
Super Mario Brothers 35. So that's that Super Mario Brothers Battle Royale came out. I think it's free if you have a Switch subscription, online subscription, October 1st. Crash Bandicoot 4. I totally forgot this was coming out. I was like so stoked for this game, and all of a sudden I saw people like posting clips online of playing, and I'm like, wait, what? Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time on a PS4 and Xbox One on October 2nd. Another one I forgot about. Holy crap, Star Wars Squadrons came out. PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on October 2nd. And then Baldur's Gate 3 finally came out on Stadia and PC. I think that one got delayed. It's supposed to come out a couple months ago, but that's officially out now, apparently. I guess I didn't double check that.
Yeah, we played on Stadia.
Yeah, right. Remember when that was like the big game, like their big reveal, like we got Baldur's Gate 3, boom. And then it's not even exclusive, like it's on PC as well.
It's on PC too. Let's play Baldur's Gate. Like, we don't think this is a good idea to lock it to your console. Just the whole fact that nobody's on your console, we might 100%. Make no money.
So crazy.
But dude, I'm really excited about Star Wars Squadrons. I really want to get that. And I played Super Mario Brothers 35. And it is way more fun than it should be. And if you have a chance to play it, totally should, because it's a blast.
Dang. I need to go download it. I saw people playing it, and it looks super cool.
It's super cool.
I need to go get it and try it out for a little bit. It's just a limited time thing, too, right? It's just until like next March or April or something, then disappearing forever, apparently, which seems weird.
Happy birthday, Mario. Everybody's going to forget about you in a few months. But I think the highest I've took on there was 7th or 8th.
Okay.
So that's my goal.
Nice. Well, I'll jump in there and see if I can beat you then.
Yeah, you probably can. We should jump into a match together. Hopefully, that'd be fun.
Oh, that'd be cool. Cool. Well, I think it's time to talk about what you've been playing. So, Zetch, you go first.
Oh, yeah. I already mentioned Super Mario Brothers 35. Totally loving it. It's got this... It's not exactly like what you'd normally think, where you just kind of play from like the beginning of the game to the end. you kind of just keep playing the same world over and over, like 1, 2, 3, all the way to like Bowser's castle, and then you start back again. So you just kind of keep knocking each other out, kind of like you would in Tetris. So when you kill like a Goomba, it sends a Goomba to somebody else's screen, and they get like flooded. And if you have like firepower, I found out everybody targets you, and you get like a good jillion mobs on your on your screen, and you're just like tapping the B button as fast as you can to like light them all up.
That must be so satisfying, though.
Yeah, it is
like
pretty
burning
fun.
up a bunch of Goombas. Yeah, bring them on, bring them on.
I'll take everything. Is that all you got? Say hello to my little friend. I feel like Scarface.
So good.
But yeah, it's super fun. I highly recommend you do that. And then I'm also playing through Mass Effect 2 OBS for the Gamer Book Club and
Super Gamer Book Club working title.
A little history, okay. I'm gonna give the audience a little insider sneak peek into what is going on with me in that game. So normally when I play through Mass Effect 2, I start at 1, I play through 1, and then I import my saves from 1 into my 2, and then from 2 to 3, right? That's the way the game is meant to be played. So I fired it up this time. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to jump right into 2. I'm not even going to play through 1. And see what happens. So I'm playing through, and I've noticed there's some things that are different about it. Number 1, the council's totally dead. And I'm like, that's a decision I wouldn't make. And then Udina got elected to be on the council. Also a decision I would never make. I'm like, okay, that sucks. So I keep playing like that. You find out that those decisions pretty early on in the game. And then I get to like halfway through, and I notice that my Paragon skill points are way down. Like so far down that if you don't have them up enough, a pivotal moment in the game that you need to happen won't happen. And so I'm like, wow, this game really shafted me. Like,
dang,
I am really screwed. So I was talking to my wife about it, and she goes, what if the Xbox 360 still has your save on it from the first one? I was like, you are the most amazing, beautiful woman I've ever met. Thank you so much. I'm gonna try that out. And so I fire up at 360, and then had to update like 3 or 4 times because it hasn't been turned on in like 3 years.
Yeah.
And so I pop in Mass Effect 2. Sure enough, I got one save from 2013 ready to go. I was like, okay, we're going to play through this game again.
So you restarted it?
I just restarted it. So officially for the Gamer Book Club, I'll be playing through this game 1.5 times.
Jeez, putting your hours in, man. That's crazy.
Oh, man. So fortunately, I'm pretty good at Mass Effect. I'll be able to blow through it pretty quick, I think, now that I have my juiced up character from the first one. But yeah.
Nice.
That I was really shocked to find it on like 2013. That's before I had my first kid.
I wasn't even dating my wife at that point.
What? Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. JJ, what were you doing in 2013?
2013, I've
Lots
been
of
married
drugs.
for 11 years, 12 years? No, 11 years, and my son was 2, and my daughter would be like 9, something like that, yeah.
Dude, you're old.
And I had been working at the lumberyard for 14 years by that point.
Oh, man, lumberyard.
So, yeah, I'm old. I'm old, guys. Like,
old.
very old.
JJ's a real man.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Super Gamer Man.
Super Gamer Man.
Yes.
Not a working title. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been playing. And then on top of, like Link's Awakening, which I already mentioned, it's one of the most beautifully redone games ever. So I never played the original Link's Awakening, but I did play through Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons on the Game Boy Color, right? Yeah. I remember I worked my butt off one summer to get those. And I worked my butt off every summer to get some sort of gaming paraphernalia.
Right.
But
the same way. Collecting those soda bottle cans and mowing those lawns, baby.
I was talking to Isaac about that too. I was like, look, man, do you want a Game Boy? He's like, Dad, I want a Game Boy. I was like, you're gonna have to earn a Game Boy just like how I earned a Game Boy.
Go
Gonna
mow
have
some
to mow
lawns.
people's lawns. Gonna add some people's yards and pull lots of weeds.
Yes. Oh, the
But
weeds.
anyway.
That was the worst thing.
Oh man. But anyway, so Link's Awakening harkens. It doesn't draw on any of the Link's Awakening nostalgia that it's meant to be pulling for me. It's actually pulling on these like Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons nostalgia strings for me, because a lot of the top-down world, the enemies and everything like that is almost identical to Oracle of Ages and Seasons. And so being able to experience that old Game Boy game in this new, updated, totally modernized Zelda is so good. And they maintain a lot of like the weird, quirky humor. The character animations are just they're like adorable.
Well, I love
Basically,
the art style too. Like everything looks like little toys and stuff. It's like such a cool art style.
So I remember seeing the art style and going, "Oh, that's a cool art style." But then actually playing it like on the screen, like it feels so much more vibrant than you can actually just. It's weird. Like it's not. It's. I can't describe it. Like it's so beautiful, and the soundtrack is completely dialed in, beautifully orchestrated, like with actual orchestra strings and stuff.
Dang.
So being able to hear the Zelda theme and that timbre is just epic. I love it. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, those are my recommends. Go check those out.
Yeah. What about you, JJ? You playing anything exciting?
Well, I wouldn't say that Fall Guys is exciting, but I've been playing a little bit of Fall Guys with the boy.
That's a fun
and
game.
That's
It's a fun
always
game.
fun. It's always
Season
fun
2's about to
because
start.
everybody. Is it really? Yeah. So what's great about Fall Guys is the fact that it's everybody playing together and a lot of trash talk, and it's making excuses when you get knocked down. It's getting trolled by other little kids on there and stuff like that. It's just a lot of fun. I love playing the game, and I love that Lee's excited about his family wanting to play with him on a game, and and there's just a whole lot of trash talk. So one of the most fun things that we do as a family together is playing that game.
That's awesome.
And then I also was able to break out the old Red Dead Redemption 2 this week. I got to play some more Red Dead.
Yeah, the other day I was looking for that disc, and I was like, I thought I had it,
borrowed
and then
it and never gave it back.
Okay, there it is.
You're playing through Red Dead again? What happened to Bioshock 2 and Bioshock Infinite?
I stopped. I needed something that felt comfortable and mindless. And also, I was told by Janet to not play Bioshock right now because the kids walk in and out of the room, and it's pretty crazy. And at least with Red Dead, I can kind of measure what I'm doing at any point. I don't have to have like crazy zombies running at me or whatever.
Hunting an animal.
I can play good. And actually, yeah, the hunting thing, like that's okay. We're that family, so it's okay. It's no problem. So, but I will tell you, interestingly enough, you did say something a little while ago about the PS5 being quiet, and I did want to make mention that I forgot the load times are huge. The load times take forever on Red Dead Redemption 2. It takes so long to load into games. Sometimes I'm like, is it still even working, or is it just frozen like this?
Yeah.
And the fans were going berserk. They were going crazy, just really loud. And so that's why it was interesting that you brought up how quiet the PS5 is, because just yesterday in the morning time, I was blown away by how loud the fans were as they were blowing, and the load times for the PS4 with that game were just insane. But it's still a lot of fun. I love it. I haven't gotten very far in it. I'm still in the snow. In the very beginning of the game, I've decided to just start the whole thing over and go from stem to stern and just enjoy it. And this time, I promise to be good. Scout's honor. I promise to be good.
Don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I'll probably fail. I'll probably end up being horrible later. But right now, I want to be good.
Be good.
Nice.
Be good.
So
that's not
as much fun. It's come on.
It's way more rewarding.
You expect more out of me. Like, come on.
Oh man. So I played I played one game and then started up another game. So I'll start with the game I just started up. I started up Final Fantasy 15. I bought like the Kings or Royal Edition or whatever it was. That was on sale for like $5 one, like, I don't know, 6 months ago. So it comes with the main game and all the DLC. And right off the bat, I fired it up. I'm like, okay, this game looks gorgeous. Okay, the story so far is a little confusing, but what caught me immediately is the game like kind of starts off like the first time you can control someone is the car's broken down and you're pushing it down the road, and when Stand By Me pumps in over the car radio, and just like these 4 dudes just out on a road trip heading to, I think he's like going to marry some princess or something like that.
Yeah.
And like their car's broken down, they're out in the middle of the desert, and like Stand By Me is playing over the radio. I'm just like, I'm loving this vibe. I'm in for this game. Like, it's just like here's a story of 4 guys on a road trip.
There's
like,
not a single. It's one of the first Final Fantasy games where you don't have a female companion, party member. Huh. You just got those 4 dudes the entire time, and it's awesome. Not because I don't, have anything as women, but just because I feel that like,
your misogyny just kind of came out.
It's not misogyny. It's you guys got to admit, like, there's something about being on a road trip with just dudes. You know what I mean?
It's pretty awesome.
It's different. I mean, I'm not saying that that's not better. Like, if you were asking me, hey, would you want to go on a road trip with your wife or road trip with your 4 dudes? I'd pick my wife. Obviously, gonna have way more fun doing stuff with my wife.
Why are you winking right now? Right? If you're winking, but like everybody can see you. This is on YouTube as well, man. Stop.
It's not just audio.
Stop doing that.
I'm not winking.
Anyway, but yeah, for me it was like even like just a song choice. I'm like, I don't know what the rest of this game, the vibe for the rest of this game is, but like that song choice and like the camera slowly zooming out into the title of the game, and them just like pushing this cart and like yelling at each other and like like I don't know, like, it's my turn to ride. I don't want to push anymore. Blah blah blah. It's like, this is gonna be a good game. This seems like a lot of fun. So I just fired that one up. I'm excited about that. And then my son woke up from his nap, so that's why I didn't play too much.
Nice.
The other game I've been playing though quite a bit at nights with some of my buddies over on the streams there, over on their Twitch streams. It's Phasmophobia. So that word is the first time I Googled it, I'm like, that's not a game. That's just a definition. Basically, Phasmophobia is just the fear of ghost. And this is a game about, well, let's read the Steam description here. Phasmophobia is a 4-player online co-op psychological horror. Paranormal activity is on the rise, and it's up to you and your team to use all the ghost hunting equipment at your disposal in order to gather as much evidence as you can. So it's literally like Ghost Hunters, like the Discovery Channel TV show, but a video game. So you roll up to a house or a school or an asylum or whatever, and you have a tractor trailer full of equipment. And as you play, you like earn money, and then you can buy more and better equipment. And you literally just roll in, and there's a whiteboard, and it says, this is a ghost name. And some of them like preferred like more one-on-one. Some of them are good with groups. And okay, now like the goal of each mission is figure out what type of ghost it is. And that's pretty much it. But you do that there's usually 3 pieces of evidence for each ghost, whether it's they spike up to a 5 on the EMF meter, or maybe they have freezing temperatures, or maybe you see ghost or spirit orbs, or like there's all these, like a whole list of different things, but you're using, all this equipment like EMF readers, spirit boxes, thermometers, night vision cameras, all this stuff. But it's not just like running into a house and doing these things and like, oh, this is like, this is fun, and then piecing out like it was a demon, or this was an Oni, or this was a shade. It's like you're going in there, and for the first like couple minutes of the round, the ghosts are totally cool. It's like, oh, okay, haha, the lights flickered or the door shut behind me. And then if you're in there like too long, or if you say their name, sometimes they're a little more aggressive. You start saying their name or messing around too much with stuff in the house, they'll like come after you, and like people will start dying off, or you'll get locked in the house at different times. And let me tell you, it is like freaking terrifying.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It's a lot of, and you're playing with friends. So it's 4-player, like, so we're all on Discord talking with each other. It actually has a VR Oculus mode. I almost tried it, and then my buddy took back his Oculus. So like when I get it back, I want to try it in VR and see if I pee my pants immediately. But it's like
Code Brown. I got changed my pants.
100%. But it's like $13 on Steam. It's an early access game, so it's not like full release yet. Not till next year, they say. I think it's like one guy working on it. It's not like a graphical powerhouse or anything like that. Like, it's pretty basic and simple at this point, but it is such a fun co-op game. So, my couple of my buddies have been streaming it, it's actually, let me shout out their channels here, because they so there's nsourcel TV, twitch.tv/nsourcel TV, and then twitch.tv/
You're sick.
Sorry, I just fired up a stream, and that'll be in the podcast. Selkies. So go check them out, and we have a blast. I play with those two guys. All four of us will play, and it is so terrifying. Like, there's moments where all of a sudden the lights all are flickering, your flashlight turns off, you're trapped in a corner, and all of a sudden, like, you think you're in. Another feature, the biggest feature of the game, is it's always using your microphone. So, like, when you talk, like, even if you're just talking with your buddies, like, the ghost can hear you. The ghost it knows where you're at. So, like, when the ghost is chasing you, if you got to, like, go in a closet, shut the door, and, like, stop talking. Like, if you keep talking to your buddies, even over, like, it's always monitoring your mic. So if you're making any noise, the ghost will, like, whip the closet door open and come after you. So it's, like, so freaking scary. It'll, like, answer commands and stuff like that. Like, you have your little book, you're like, please write in the book, and it'll write in the book. Like, that's one of the clues, like, to determine what type of ghost it is. When you have the spirit box, you'd be like, is this your home? It'll be like, yes. Do you want us to leave? Like, yes. It'll say, like, yes. Are you going to kill us? Are you going to hurt us? It'll be like, kill. I'm like, okay, I think we should leave now. Like, that type of thing. So it's a genius game. Like, there's so much cool little, like, features like that that just make it so immersive.
That's cool.
It's pretty bizarre. So again, like, I think it'd be terrifying in VR with all those features, like having monitoring your mic, having, like, the sound design the way it is. Like, I couldn't imagine playing this in VR. So go check it out. It's, like I said, like $13 on Steam, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing.
Cool.
Alrighty. I think that's the end of our show. So thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. It's been a blast talking games with you guys, and hopefully you all out there in the podcast and YouTube world are enjoying this. If you are, think about supporting us over at patreon.com/supergamerboys. If you want to help us make the show bigger and better, help making cool new content such as our Super Gamer Book Club, and get those exclusive episodes every month, support us over there. Just $1 a month. You can get all that stuff, at least the new episodes and all that. supergamerboys.com/store, and you can get sweet merch with our logos, our faces, our, Super Gamer Boys for President shirts. Rate and review us over on your favorite podcast app or on YouTube. And remember, you can subscribe to our channel to get the new episodes when they come out. Like this video, please, so that more people will see it. During the week, you can find us at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys. I'm on Facebook. We are on Facebook or at facebook.com/supergamerboys. I'm on Twitter at gmorlang. And JJ's over on Twitter at...
I'm on Twitter at JJPrudom.
And Zetch is over. Well, do you have your social media back?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram and Twitter at NerdDadZetch. And if I don't respond to you on Twitter, probably because I'm angry at Twitter, but tweet at me. I'll find it eventually. I promise.
Eventually. Thank you so much to Star Andrews for our logo. You can check her out on Instagram at Ground Floor Graphics and Facebook.com/Ground Floor Graphics. And that is all I have for our show.
Okay. All right. Awesome. For the Stud Muffin, Zetch Keenan, because that's his new nickname, the Stud Muffin. For the Grouch, Garrett Morlang. And for me, the king, the overlord, the manager of the pest control company that Garrett and I both work for, I'm JJ Purdom. We are the Super Gamer Boys.
And we will catch you on the flippity flop.
May God be with you in all your travels.